You know, in a world that's constantly testing our limits, where do we actually find the strength to keep going? Well, today, we're going to dig into some timeless proverbs from all over the globe to try and build a roadmap for our own inner strength. Okay, let's get into it. So let's just start with a really fundamental question. What even is true strength? Is it about being immovable, totally unbreakable, or is it something else entirely? Just kind of hang on to that question as we go. All right, so our first piece of wisdom here, it suggests that maybe true strength is the exact opposite of what we've always been taught. It's not about being rigid, it's all about flexibility. I just love this proverb. Seriously, picture it for a second. You've got this mighty oak tree, a total symbol of power, right? And then you have this thin, slender stalk of bamboo. When a massive storm rolls in, which one do you think actually survives? And this is what's so fascinating when you put them side by side. The oak, because it tries so hard to resist the wind, to just stand its ground, that's what causes it to snap. The bamboo, on the other hand, it just goes with it. It yields, it adapts, and when the storm finally passes, it just straightens right back up. It survives not because of its force, but because of its incredible ability to adapt. So here's the big takeaway from that. Resilience isn't some kind of armor we put on to avoid challenges. No, it's an inner flexibility that lets us move with them, to absorb their force without shattering. Okay, so let's move on to our next idea, and you'll see how this all connects. If flexibility helps us survive the storm, what do we do when we inevitably stumble? I mean, we all fall, right? This next part is all about how we learn from those moments. Man, this is such a profound shift in how we see things. It's so natural to just focus on the pain of the fall, the failure, the embarrassment. But this proverb is telling us, hey, look deeper. And this is where it becomes a really practical tool. Step one, sure, you have to acknowledge the fall. You have to admit you messed up. But the real growth, the real wisdom, that happens in step two, analyzing the slip. What was the real reason it happened? What was that slippery spot that caused the fall? Because that's the lesson. That's how you make sure it doesn't happen again. But wait, it gets even more powerful. The wisdom we get from our mistakes, it isn't just for us. This Ethiopian proverb suggests that our learning has a purpose that goes way beyond ourselves. Think about it. By understanding our own slips, we don't just get stronger, we gain insights that we can actually share with other people. Our struggles can become a source of wisdom, turning a personal failure into a lesson that can help our entire community. And that leads us perfectly into our third pillar of resilience. So far, we've been focused inward, right? But being resilient is not a solo mission, not at all. It's deeply, deeply connected to the people around us. Wow, this is an incredibly powerful and kind of sobering proverb. It speaks to this fundamental human need we all have, the need to belong, to be seen, to feel like we're part of something bigger than just ourselves. So, what this proverb is warning us about is that when that need for connection isn't met, the consequences can be, well, destructive. An individual's strength really depends on the support of a strong community. This is a question that's really worth pausing on, for real. In our world of digital everything and physical distance, who makes up your village? Who are the people that embrace you? Who provides that warmth? And check out this beautiful image from another proverb. It just reinforces that same idea. It shows us that relying on each other isn't a weakness, it's just a fundamental part of nature. No bird builds its nest all by itself. We are literally designed to build our lives with help from others. So the key takeaway here is this: asking for help, leaning on your village, using the feathers of others to build your own nest, that is a core part of resilience. It is a sign of wisdom, not a sign of weakness. Okay, so we've got flexibility, learning from failure, and community. But what's the engine that ties it all together? What's the thing that drives us forward day in and day out? Well, it's the mindset of perseverance. Let's start with this powerful truth from Nelson Mandela. The biggest challenges we face, they almost always feel completely insurmountable when we're looking at them from the starting line. Perseverance is that force that just carries us right through that feeling of impossibility. But it's more than just toughing it out. Molière frames it a little differently here. The obstacle isn't just something to be endured, it's an opportunity. It's the very thing that makes the achievement worthwhile and glorious in the end. And if that still feels like you're fighting against the current, this next proverb offers this amazing sense of calm certainty. It's a metaphor for inevitability, but only through persistence. If you just keep flowing, just keep moving forward, you will reach your destination. The sea is waiting for you. And this brings us to such a critical distinction, one that Maya Angelou says so perfectly. A defeat is just an event. It's something that happens. But being defeated, that's a state of mind, and you have complete control over that second one. You can face setback after setback without ever letting them define you or stop your journey. So let's just put a name on it: perseverance. It's that quality, that inner fire that lets you keep going even when it's really, really hard. It's the fuel for flexibility. It's the driver for learning. And it's the commitment that holds a community together. It is, without a doubt, the engine of resilience. Whew, we have covered a lot of ground, drawing on wisdom from cultures all across the world. So what do we do with all this? Let's bring it right back home, to you. We started with the oak and the bamboo, and that's exactly where we're going to end. So just take a moment and think about one area in your life, maybe a challenge at work, a tough relationship, a personal goal you're struggling with. Where are you being rigid like the oak, risking a break? And how could you choose instead to be flexible like the bamboo and simply bend?